Hi everyone, you are listening to Metal Fist Media. Today I have with me,
Unhallowed.
and the members we have here are...
James, we play guitar.
Martin bass.
Dad, I shout at people.
And Henry, I also play guitar.
Yeah, how did you guys form then?
I met, James and Henry. I went to high school with them. And Dan I met through a friend who I was in from high school as well, who I was in a band with, and Dan was also in the band. So that's how I met those guys.
Alright, okay. So what are your musical influences then?
Martin?
Oh, am I doing all talking? Alright, fine.
Well, we can do it one at a time.
Well, we all got different influences, don't we?
Yeah. All like talk about
Alright.
what your
Personal
taste is.
Yeah, okay. Alright. So, I'm heavily inspired by like, the Bay Area thrash style stuff, so Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, stuff like that. But I also like the more modern stuff, bands like Lazarus AD, Solosis, and just generally metal and rock in general. I just love all of it.
Okay.
Well, personally, I'm kind of taken from Lamb of God and things like that at the moment. A bit of southern style metal is my kind of thing.
Me, more Killswitch Engage and Trivium. Those are my main influences, but I can't say no to Metallica and Megadeth. Those will always be made.
Megadeth, definitely.
Well, when I met Martin, I was listening to all sorts of stuff. I was kind of slowly getting into death metal at the time. But Martin introduced me to, like he said, like Lazarus AD and Silas, and that really got me into the thrash stuff. I just like anything that's like heavy and fast, really. But I quite appreciate classic rock and the prog stuff as well.
Yeah, I like prog rock. Prog rock's, Rush are my favourite band.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So have you guys got any gigs coming up?
We have one on the 24th of May, which is at the Waterfront Studio, which is being put on by Gnarly Promotions.
What's that unsigned night thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the unsigned night, which Gnarly Promotions is putting on. And then also we're doing a charity gig for Noah, who is a young kid who has leukemia, which we're trying to raise money for, which is good. A lot of good bands on that night.
It should be really good then, yeah.
That should be really good, yeah.
What date's that? Just so everyone knows.
I should...
Is that June time?
Yeah,
6th of June. 6th or 7th of June. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's the 7th.
Alright, okay. So you guys have been together for what, a couple years now? How long have you guys been together now?
Well, the band as we are now, we've probably only been together about a year, because I've only just joined in the last year, personally, and I know...
James hasn't been with us that long, is he?
I've been, I think, about three years.
3? Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, Jake's been about a year
I joined the band when I was in year 8. It's been 4 or 5 years.
Nothing serious though until probably about 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
We've had so many lineup changes and
Yeah.
that, we've never really got going properly till very recently.
Okay. Right. How come that was then?
Lineup changes generally either weren't happy with someone or not enough commitment from someone.
Yeah, like when I originally played drums, got kicked out, and then got asked to join on vocals again. So he's talking about me whilst I'm here.
Oh, I've been... I think with me you were looking for a rhythm guitarist, so
I think the main trouble we had was that eventually got to the point where we realised we wanted to have a band that consists of people our age or mates that we know, rather than like sourcing anyone we could find, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we wanted someone who we were comfortable with, rather than a good musician. We just wanted someone who we could be ourselves around.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how it is, guys. Okay, I see how you feel about me.
Well, when you're in a band, the best way to get better, or as a musician or whatever, is to play with other people. So
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time before everyone sort of steps up a bit.
Yeah, and also we all progressed at kind of a similar level and all started at a similar time. So rather than have one person who's like loads ahead, we've all progressed at a even rate kind of thing.
Alright, okay. So, has there been any big moments for you over the years?
I think the first time when we played Freshsaurus last year, that was good. That was, we had a lot of fun that day.
Personally, for me, I think was when we, even though it wasn't the best gig we've ever played, the lowest off Seabreeze, because that was the first gig we played outside of Norwich.
I love that. Even it wasn't maybe that successful because there was like a gig clash, so the turnout wasn't great. I think Terrabos were playing in Yarmouth or something, but yeah, I had a right laugh at that because we were dressed up but Martin
Halloween gig.
Had a meal with his parents, and it was
And it was the first for me that we've not played in Norwich, so that was good to get out.
It was first for most of us, I think, actually, that went played Norwich.
Yeah. It was good to go experience somewhere else outside the scene that we're normally inside. So
and we ended up playing that gig with the lineup was just a load of other death metal bands. I don't think we'd played with any of them before. That was new for us anyway. It was like a new kind of scene, I guess.
Yeah, kudos to Funeral Witch Promotions for putting that on. The turnout wasn't great, but I mean, it was a good night. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
My biggest moment would probably be our most recent, one of our most recent ones where we opened for Charybdis. That was turned out.
I don't know why we didn't say that. I was looking forward to that.
No.
I'm a massive Charybdis fanboy.
That was my highlight because to sell like the B2, even though everyone wasn't there to see us, but I mean, just to sell like the B2 and have over 100 people there, was really good. And Simon Powell from Power Promotions does a lot for the local scene.
Yeah, he does tons.
He's done a lot for us, to be fair.
Yeah, he's done a lot for us. So we owe him a lot.
But that was by far probably the best talent we've ever had. So I'm just grateful we played it. I would have been happy just to go see the bands, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm such a Charybdis fanboy, though. I mean, I've got my Charybdis shirt.
Oh, yeah, he's got his t-shirt. Oh no.
They're so good.
But I have to say, I think one of our first last year when we did when the Bloodstock heats were on, we played like a gig with some mates at the B2, and then the next day or 2 days after we played at the Waterfront to do the heat. I think that was one of our first gigs with James.
Yep,
that was a fun one. I remember that. That's
That
when
was
you first saw us, wasn't it?
Yep, it was.
Yeah, I remember you in the crowd actually.
Fucking hell, that seems like a lifetime.
Yeah.
About a year ago, wasn't it?
Longer than that, about a year ago.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot longer, but
It does.
Yeah,
A
no.
lot
I guess so
has
much has happened, like with college and everything. But
I was playing on my own for that gig as well.
yeah, we had one guitarist for a while, so we were like, oh, get Henry in to play some open notes.
I occasionally bar, okay?
He occasionally chooses to fret.
This isn't asking Alexandria.
He chooses.
So then, how did you guys first get into metal then?
Well, me personally, I started listening off to, what are they called? Linkin Park when I was quite young. I thought was it year 7, so I must have been about 10, 11 at the time. And, as most people, I presume they do, you just kind of progress up, slowly getting heavier, until I get into bands like Slipknot, and then you start realising there's just a huge array of music it's not just metal, is there? There's loads more kinds of metal out there.
Yeah.
And that's just how I did it personally.
For me, I got it mainly from my parents, because my mum and dad they're more like rock fans, so bands like AC/DC and that kind of stuff. So my older brother, he started listening to them and he got into heavier bands. And through him, I started listening to heavier bands like Slipknot and Lamb of God and bands like that.
Yeah, I was pretty much the same. My dad used to listen to classic rock and early school metal, so Deep Purple and Motorhead was what I was kind of listening to. And I just progressed from there like Henry, just got progressively heavier. And yeah, started listening to Metallica, lots of thrash bands and some death metal bands. Then, some prog metal bands as well, Also, went for quite technicality when I started getting more interested in bass. So, yeah.
Yeah, my parents weren't much of an influence for me because all they really listened to was Duran Duran and Boy George, so it's not really much correct connection. But I remember when I was really little, I used to listen to fucking Queen a bit, and my first CD I bought was Linkin Park Meteora, and I kind of just went from there until same as Henry, I just discovered Slipknot somewhere along the line, and then just as I got through high school, just listened to the more you listen to it, the heavier it gets. I think a lot of people sort of say that.
So, what drew you towards your specific instruments then?
Because Mark could play guitar.
Your mic base feedback in again, Dan.
Yeah. Right, I guess I'll go then, because no one else is going. I played piano from the age of about 6, because I was, forced into having lessons while I was at primary school. Then, it was about year 8, actually, I was quite old at the time. I heard a band called Lordi, and I thought, what, this band is actually really good. I mean, I look back in hindsight, I'm like...
Eurovision.
But yeah, exactly. And I was like, I could do that, surely. I see no reason why I couldn't do that. So I got a electric guitar
in a Halloween
and a
costume.
cheap little amp. Well, we did that at the Seabreeze, didn't we? And got myself a guitar and a little orange amp, and just kind of set out on it, I guess. So I never still play now, obviously. I think I'm a little bit better than when I started, hopefully.
A little bit.
Maybe I can play open slightly faster than I used to be able to.
Mine. What's I mean about? I think I started playing when I was 13, which was in year 8. I think I was talking to some guy in my maths class. He was talking about making a band, and he said they needed a bassist. So I originally thought, yeah, I could do that. What's hard about bass? It's only got 4 strings.
I'm a bassist, so
I get this all the time, mate.
No one can hear me right now.
There's only 4 strings and no one can actually hear you anyway.
So I asked my parents, and they thought instead of getting a bass, they got me an acoustic guitar. And since then, I just kept playing guitar. So I thought, what the hell? I'll get an electric, and then. Because of that, then Martin got me into Unhallowed, so I just carried on.
Did your parents not want a bass player? They're like, my son ain't being no damn bass player.
For me, it was the guy who I started Unhallowed with, who's called Josh Gardner. Me and him just wanted to do, a band, and I'd already played guitar when I was 5 or 6, and never was really into it. And so I just thought I'll try something different. I'll go for bass, and yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yep, and bass is the best.
Bass is the best.
No matter what anyone else says, bass is the best.
I'll have you know I can get a 6-string bass as well, so...
I can get a 9-string guitar.
No, I get a
32-string, mate.
Bass.
But yeah, I just, learnt bass, and then, started Unhallowed, and then these guys joined, I guess.
These chuckleheads.
Yeah.
These great friends of mine.
Well, the way I sort of got into it, I guess, was in primary school. I started playing acoustic guitar and that, having guitar lessons, and I quite enjoyed it. But then eventually, I ended up going up to electric guitar, as you do, for a bit of shredding, and I got really into it. And then somewhere along the line, I sort of got interested in bass. I started playing bass, and then somewhere along the line, I started playing drums. But the other guitar stuff sort of I lost interest in that. I didn't really keep it up, and I wish I had. But then I got into drums a lot more at the end of high school and stuff. And then a friend of mine, I suppose, as I was starting to get into the more heavy stuff, you get curious. You think like, how they do and all that ridiculous noises and stuff. And a mate of mine could do some growling, and he showed me how, and then I just got into it like that, and I was listening to it more and more, and it sort of drew me in because it's I guess like a lot of people get turned away by like the harsh vocals, but there's a lot of, it's kind of like a different emotion. You have to kind of, I don't know, I was always just interested by it, and I turned out, I hope I'm not too bad.
You do the T-Rex, but that's about it.
Yeah, T-Rex
I also
going,
do a good T-Rex impersonation, so.
You got that to fall back on if the our vocal career don't work.
Yeah, I'm sure Butlins will let me in.
That would be the best thing ever. Those kids would leave pretty scarred, I think.
Well, let's do an unhallowed tour of Butlins and
See how that goes.
all those.
I'm game.
We'll do Stack Caravan Park tour.
So you are a thrash / death metal band. How did you decide that's the type of music that you want to perform?
Well, I think when the band sort of first started coming about, or when I joined at least, I know Martin had initially said to me, I'm starting a thrash metal band, and at the time I didn't know what thrash metal was, to be honest with you. And he showed me a couple of songs and that, and I got into it. But I think over the course of that sort of year or two, we were writing songs and that, and it was pretty much like straight up thrash metal, because Martin was well into the, like you said, the Bay Area thrash stuff. So
yeah, I like Slayer and stuff like that, and Megadeth, and they're quite, they got like some poppy elements as well in some of their songs, But yeah, so it was like straight up thrash kind of thing, and yeah. And when Dan joined, he had quite a, kind of a, metalcore, deathcore influence, would you say?
Yeah, I think even though it's kind of frowned upon, I was well into the deathcore stuff, because that was my gateway into death metal and, other thrash metal and stuff. And I guess it was partly because of my voice, or the way I came across in the band. We thought it was kind of worth adding the sort of heavier death metal sort of element. And also, like, I know Martin wouldn't have wanted to come out and make a band and, just play the same old straight up thrash stuff. We wanted to do something a bit different, so...
Yeah, I didn't want to sound like anyone, who had gone before. I wanted, to take what, great bands have done, but, put my own spin on it, kind of thing. So it wasn't, run-of-the-mill kind of, music.
Didn't want to be known as just another thrash band.
Yeah, I didn't want to just be known as just another thrash band, so...
I think that wasn't too bad for us, though, because a lot of thrash bands, I know we've said it already, but they always say, I like Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer and all that, but because we were brought up on other metal and that, and we're younger, we got other, like, Martin introduced me to the new wave sort of thrash stuff, and we sort of took influence from that, and then went back to the older stuff, so...
Yeah.
I think it's not the same, it's not the same old roots, I guess.
Okay. Alright, Martin, you also do vocals as well. From what I can hear, it's got a more higher pitch. It sounds more black metal. How did that happen?
Because Martin doesn't practice.
Mainly that, but yeah, no.
He just turns up on the day.
Yeah, stuff like Jeff Paulick from Lazarus AD, who's the bassist and vocalist. Stuff like that is more what I'm into. Like, I appreciate what the death metal guys can do, where they can growl like super low and stuff. But to me, Chuck Schuldiner, especially on like was a big influence, especially the stuff on Sound of Perseverance. That album, his vocal style is pretty much what I want to do.
Well, that's some ruthless death metal, but it shows you don't have to do the whole growl thing. I don't think he could ever do the whole growl thing. It's just, that's his voice.
His
Yeah.
voice is very mid/mid-high, you know, scream vocal like style. So that's kind of what I like. It has got a bit of black metal, but that's mainly lack of technique, I would say. Not saying, you know, black metal artists have lack of technique, but that's just
That's
how
what
I
you
achieve
come
it.
out
Yeah, that's
I
how I
think-
achieve it.
As we're slowly pulling this band together to be a bit more, I don't know, like, step up our game a bit, I think as things are coming together, I know we spoke recently about vocals and that, and I think, like Martin has said, he wants to practice more, and we need to sit down and just sort of get on with things like that and refine them a bit.
Like,
Because otherwise, I know Martin said he hasn't, I don't know if it's like a confidence thing, but sometimes I know you felt a bit iffy about it, and I think obviously that's partly to do with lack of practice.
yeah, because it's never been, it was never originally in my nature. It's something I've wanted to get into. Like, I think, like, originally I thought with vocals it was pretty much, oh yeah, Dan will just do his thing, and then, you know, we'll stand and play our instruments. But I've realised to take, you know, the live show to the next level, you need layers of voices kind of thing. to
Oh
improve.
yeah, we noticed
So-
that from playing gigs. You get most of the other bands now will do quite a lot of backing stuff, and it does just make it seem a lot more diverse. And
Yeah.
I think part of the reason maybe we ended up having Martin doing some backing is because I think we wanted to sort of get away a little bit from the gang shout stuff. Because maybe do you think it's a bit cheesy, Martin?
I find, especially if you listen to like Glamour of the Kill and stuff like that, yeah, their style of gang shouts I find like pretty cheesy. I mean, if it's done well, you know, it's done well, it's good, but
You'll even get serious bands like do the gang stuff and it'll sound cheesy. You can't help it sometimes.
Yeah.
Gotta have a bit of cheese. At one point we were thinking of doing clean vocals, weren't we?
yeah, we've talked about expanding upon vocals, you know, really having like a think about what we're gonna do, but as of yet we need to get some, you know, some tracks recorded to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think we decided me sounding like a hungry yeti wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah, needed a bit more diversity. Yeah.
So is there any local band which you would like to perform with more?
Well, there's a band we played with at our second last gig when we opened for Caribdis called A-List.
Oh yeah, I was
Yep.
going to say. Yeah, I think we'd like to play with them again.
I'm pretty sure everyone here wants to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're a good band, really nice bunch of, you know, guys. And, yeah, wouldn't mind play them.
I'd quite like, I don't know if it would be possible anymore, but if we got an opportunity to play with Shrapnel, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Shrapnel would be a band, you know, a band we kind of look up to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, respect a lot. So
Massive
We've been
band.
following them for a long while. I think as soon as we sort of started gigging and that, I mean, Lazarus AD came to Norwich with Born by Blood, and I know Shrapnel played that. I think
yeah,
Chemical
played that as well. Yeah, Chemical
I'm
played
pretty sure that ever since they played that, we kind of realised that those two bands for us were sort of like almost like the forefront of our local scene, I guess. Even though Chemical are from like Ipswich, weren't they? But with Shrapnel especially. But yeah, we shared the stage with them at Thrash when we played it. Not this year, obviously, but yeah, I'd like to play a gig with them, definitely.
Yeah.
I would, you know, Killer Hertz is another band I love to play with because, you know, Errol, you know, who owns Plug Studios, he's been really good to us and stuff. So yeah, that would be another band I would love to
Oh
play
yeah,
with.
definitely. Shout out
Terror-
there.
Yeah, shout out to Errol Watson, you know. Also, I think we played with Terror Boss at Thrashosaurus. I can't actually remember.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
did.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
We were going to play another gig with them, but our drummer, Jake,
Yeah, it was
had a
We have-
appendicitis. He was in
We
hospital.
have played with them a couple of times, Ryan, I think.
Yeah, we definitely played with them once, definitely.
We've played with them, it might have even been like Henry's first gig, I think.
I think
Oh,
it was my first gig. Yeah, it was my
Oh
first gig with you.
shit! Yeah. You can edit that bit out. That bit doesn't need to go in there.
Oh, wait.
Actually, to be fair, we've played with Killer Hertz as well. Actually, it was
Yeah,
It was
well,
quite a
we
while
played
ago.
with Terror Hertz,
We
but it
played
was-
with them before you joined, James.
But we haven't played with Shrapnel, so
No,
if
no,
you're,
no.
if you're
I'll
listening,
play-
Shrapnel, you could just hit us up.
Oh, this
If anyone's prepared to pay ridiculous amounts of money for a band, we'd be happily, you know, to play
We'll take-
anywhere.
we play a gig for you for a £5.
Concert of the century.
Well, better than that, you give us a Freddo each, and we'll come.
Literally, we accept payment in sherbet dib dabs.
For more bands to ask us to play gigs, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no. For us
yeah.
at the moment, money isn't, the objective. It's just, play as many gigs, have as much.
Yeah,
it's getting a scene going, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been trying to sort of balance between gigging and getting out new songs and that, and we've only just released that. We've released that demo of Our Divinity recently, but we have never really put any music out there. But it's kind of getting that balance between gigs and writing, so we can. We're basically just trying to form some sort of little following, so we can just sort of progress, I guess.
Yeah, we're trying to what at least I aim to do is try and get a following. So if we do release something, it's not going to go to us four have a copy, our parents, a couple of friends who have some money.
I think we all know the end result of this is groupies.
Henry's all about the purse.
As long as we've actually got some sort of an audience to actually buy our stuff, that's our main aim, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt, and that's it.
We got Jack Lilly, Josh Overton. Shout out to them. They come to every gig.
All them our gigs. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, the our friends and stuff who come to gigs, it's much appreciated. But yeah, we just want to create a following. So if we when we release something, many people want it as possible. People can hear our stuff. Get more gigs.
It's just a circle, really. The bigger the bigger gigs you get, the bigger following you get, the bigger... Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
So, what are your interests outside of music, then? Music.
Personally, I game a lot, so I play League of Legends, World of Warcraft, a lot of PC games, really, is my kind of thing.
Alright.
Unfortunately, I'm not worthy enough to be part of the, what do they call the PC Master Race?
PC Master Race, yep.
I do quite a lot of gaming, but I play a lot of Xbox. I just prefer console game. But at one point I play, I've always liked Call of Duty, admit. Some people don't like it, but I've always liked. But I got quite competitive with teams and stuff, and at one point I was doing all ladders and all sorts. And I like food as well. Does that count?
Yeah,
I eat occasionally. That helps.
And I go to the pub, and yeah.
Okay.
James. Oh yeah. Oh no, I won't put that thing. It just popped up. That message just popped up.
For me, it is basically gaming. Really, which is just a little bit sad that we're all just game a lot.
I don't know if I can point this out or not, but James just wrote to us in a little message. The words basically just constant masturbation.
Oh yeah, I do it a lot. Yeah. No, when you're alone, you gotta let that out.
You've got a girlfriend, haven't you? What's she gonna think of watching this?
Well, I mean, I masturbate when she's not around. No.
So the second she leaves the house,
second she leaves your side.
She goes to the bathroom, bangs one out quickly.
One other thing that me and Martin like to do is we basically argue all the time about everything. Martin likes to argue.
God, you are.
I don't like to argue. No one likes to argue.
Doing it right now.
Oh, heck.
It's rolling again.
It's died on Skype.
Yeah, Matt, your mic's going like crazy. Yeah.
Is it? What's wrong?
It's just,
no,
it's alright, I think it's just feedbacking. Yeah, we all kind of just a bunch of nerds, really. And we
gamers then, yeah?
Actually, you did point out our last gig that we are just a nerd band.
I was talking to James and I just went, I looked at Henry and I looked at James and I just thought, we're just a bunch of nerds.
Well, I can't talk.
And I told him.
I've got a bloody Warcraft tattoo, mate, so...
oh yes, that tattoo.
I want one now for the Horde.
Yeah, for the fucking Horde.
It's the, what was it? The Bloodstock Heats. One of them, was it Iron Ram, that younger band? Is that what they're called?
Yep, Iron Ram.
Yeah, well, they started the song by saying,
I am the cable
or
and
and all that. Yeah. Cool, I wish we were that cool. No, actually, to be fair, a lot of the songs I write, I do write about Warhammer, so...
I'm out.
Hey, go on.
I realise I'm done. See you later.
Yeah, no,
I
what?
sent you that song today called Phalanx, that's just about Necrons.
I just kind of,
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of skimmed
Well, in
it.
that case, I need to start writing songs about fucking Pokemon.
I don't read.
Oh, mate!
I don't find that reading the lyrics helps me that much because I have no idea how the song's going to go yet, so I don't know how to read the lyrics, like in what sense I'm reading them.
Oh yeah, we had this thing with the band where no one knows what song we're gonna play until James plays the first riff. And they're like, it's like,
I still remember that gig, and you started Welcome to Hell, and I was like, oops, I'm in the wrong tuning, better tune up quickly.
even though there's a minute intro on bass.
Yeah, so you can just hear Martin's bass then. Tuning up.
Well, like an F1 car.
Yeah, pretty much. Just me tuning from a D to an E.
Well, yeah, what I like to do is, like quite a lot of, American TV shows, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, stuff like that, they're all pretty good.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's like zombies and stuff.
Yeah, also, like PC gaming, even though I haven't really been into it quite a lot at the moment, but, yeah, I'm a Liverpool FC fan, or, so...
Oh, boo.
Oh,
That was
Sports.
The Norwich fans are going to be all over me. Yeah. Yeah.
I support
Like to play
Norwich
football.
totally. I totally love football, and Norwich is a team that I assume is better than others because I live here. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. You have been listening to Unhallowed. I'm now going to play you one of the tracks. Enjoy.
He is gathered to thwart